hell,
All
man.
right, I was telling Leo that I want a beautiful girlfriend or a nice woman, super attractive, super compatible, super everything, to sit right next to me. We'll be full in love and genuinely, not just a girl. And that would make my message so much more powerful, influential. It would make me so much more money, make my life so much smoother, easier. So if you're a girl out there and you are spiritually evolved and whatever, shoot me a message. We'll see if you're qualified. Yeah, what do you got to say about this, Leo?
What I got to say about that? Um, Nothing really, to be honest. If we come back to our previous conversation, I was just reflecting back to you about how I feel like there is nothing left to do. It's like when you awaken, there's no purpose, no direction, there is nothing. There's just this moment. And as the awakening deepens, and there's no self, there's no separate self, you become one with everything. Like it makes sense as to why the body and the mind doesn't really want to do anything anymore. That's like what I'm starting to understand. That's a very scary thing for the ego, very painful thing for the ego. It's like a literal death. And I go through these phases where the ego comes back online and then I have to surrender it again. It happened today, past few hours. My little ego was like, oh, I want purpose, I want meaning, I want to go somewhere, I want to do something. And I was just observing it, I was listening to it. I was like, okay, interesting. Um, and so I was looking for these things. Maybe I should just keep building, and maybe I should go and get 100K subscribers on YouTube, or maybe I should build this huge business, or maybe I should look for a partner. And my ego was spinning, 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 looking for the next thing, the next thing, the next
Mm.
thing, until the ego exhausted itself. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I then went back through this process of surrendering all of my egoic attachments, and then I came back into this moment. This moment. And I realized that true bliss, true peace, true happiness comes from the surrendered state, the release of all attachment. So, coming back to the whole conversation about having a woman, um, that was one of the things that was in my field. I want a woman. I want a woman to make me feel loved. I want a woman to help me fulfill a grand mission. I want a woman for this, that, blah, 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 whatever. Um, it would be nice. I think it'd be a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. I still have a body and a mind that can appreciate intimacy, can appreciate love. Now, if the right person comes my way and there is an authentic energy exchange, it feels real. There is deep commitment and shared values. Beautiful. I welcome you to come into my energy field. Come my way. Um, Now we were also just talking about the women these days, and me telling you about like where am I gonna find a woman like this? Am I gonna go to a club, approach some random yats on the street, bro? My days for that are gone now. I've approached thousands of women in my younger years. Um, but it's like how many women have I met in the past year, 2 years, 3 years, where there's been an authentic like, wow, there's something here. I want to build something with you. It's rare. It's rare. So rare.
Mm. Yeah, well, Leo is in a unique position because, without giving too much away, Leo has a strong root chakra. He's kind of physically set, and told me that he doesn't have to do much to sustain himself on Earth, and things have kind of handled in that way. And that's what I'm working towards. And at the same time, I'm looking at Leo's life. And even though, yeah, there's nothing to do, still, you want to do what a human being does. That's a genuinely good thing to do. What is the next step for Leo? Probably is to get a wife. And then a few years down the line, get children. That's satisfying, satiating. And then, my friends, we roll on to the biggest dilemma of this phone call, this entire conversation, is where and how do you meet this person? You can go put in some serious effort towards acquiring money. You can acquire lots of money. Are you gonna go put in some serious effort to finding your true love or your romantic soulmate or your special person? Where? Where are you gonna do that? You're gonna go approach 1,000 women? All right, good luck. Okay, I've done that too. It's horrendous. It's painful. You know, it's like you're engaged in trench warfare. No, no, thank you. So it seems to me, unfortunately, you just gotta wait, be patient, work on yourself more as a man, create the necessary energy inside of your body, and then for this to kind of, for God to show you what to do. Yeah. What do you
And
think
now,
about this?
look, I was saying this to Mariam yesterday as well. Like, the only true path right now for me is absolute inner sovereignty. Absolute inner sovereignty. It's like becoming your own lover. It's like you become your own source for everything that you look for outside of yourself. The love, the attention, the validation, the money, everything. It's like this path of absolute deep sovereignty. And then from that space, when you go out and you engage in the world, you have a deeper magnetism to you. Why? Because you don't need it. The energy of need is a repulsive energy. It's like on a magnet. It's like the opposites of magnets. When you are in a state of detachment and unconditional peace, I believe that you attract the things that you are meant to have in this life more effortlessly. It's a big topic.
Hmm. Okay. Something that Tony Robbins says. He said that he took out a notebook and he wrote down like 50 or 100 qualities that his future lover is gonna hold or holds. And then he said he finishes writing this. Okay, this is good enough. This is a complete list. He put this down and like he went out somewhere and he met her. That's fantastic.
So interesting.
So then my question is to you, what are the top 3 qualities you look for in a girl? How would you
Yeah,
know?
interesting. Another thing I shared yesterday, I just want to bring this up, was that I have a shadow side to me that fears rejection. That fears there's like a big shadow that I'm afraid of putting vision on in the presence of a woman. Um, there's a fear of commitment as well. Um, I have this like avoidant looping thing. So it's not all like, oh, I'm this blissful, enlightened being that is completely detached from any form of love and intimacy. Bullshit. No, that's not true. I still have certain trauma patterns that are present. So I think that I can appreciate the idea of yeah, like union with the right person. Now coming back to your question of like the three um what was it, traits?
Qualities, yeah.
3 qualities. Um Truth. Someone that values truth in the same way that I value truth, which also correlates with honesty. Um I was gonna say the word peace, but I don't know if that's absolutely true. I would say truth, love, like authentic love is present, and I think peace. Yeah, peace, love, and truth. And it's funny because that's almost like the qualities of God. That's the qualities of awareness.
What if she's truth, love, and peace, but she's a club rat? She loves to club and drink and
What is a club rat? How do you put club rat, peace, love, and truth in the same bracket?
yeah, I guess good point.
So she goes to the club and she drinks. Okay. But she embodies peace, love, and truth. Great.
Hmm.
Great. You know, it's funny you bring that up because I remember I'm getting major throwbacks right now. It's almost bringing me to tears. I remember the 2 weeks before my awakening last year, October. Wow. I was going out to the clubs every night and I was approaching women and having these beautiful interactions every single night. And then I remember one of the last nights, right before I was going to go back to London, I met beautiful, this beautiful girl, and I didn't expect to because it was Sunday and the streets were empty, like no one was out. But something told me, God told me, stay out, just stay out, stay out, stay out. And me and my friend Victor, we walked into this restaurant, like literally just a place where people eat, and we see these two girls in the distance, and they're both having a glass of wine. And for whatever reason, we decided to just join them. And it was a beautiful, spontaneous experience. But um, I lost my train of thought. Can't remember what triggered this whole story. What was your question again?
The qualities and you met a beautiful.
Okay. So when I spent time around her, I felt this deep sense of peace, love, and truth. It was like bliss. I felt bliss in her presence. Um, and we ended up staying in touch. Like we went back to her place that evening. It was and we ended up meeting up again soon after. She was going to come with me to some different town in Norway, and then we broke contact. And then there was nothing that happened for about a period of a week. I went back home and I tuned in and I asked God, what am I meant to do? When I tuned into her, I felt the same bliss energy, the same like high vibrational bliss energy. And God told me to book a flight back to Norway and not tell her. Like I didn't tell her that I was going to be in Norway, so I booked this flight. And I remember asking God, okay, God, where do I go tonight? Like, what am I meant to do? And God told me to go to this bar or this and it was a very specific club in Norway. And so I went to this bar, and literally as soon as I get to the front of the door, I see her standing and talking to two guys. I'm like, this is wild. And she looks at me for a moment, and then she like says hi, and then she ignores me, and then continues her conversation. And I was like, it just like shattered something in my heart because I was like, I came all this whole way to see this woman. She doesn't even know. um, and then what I did was I returned back to inner sovereignty. I returned back to the bliss state, and I continued. And I went back into the club, and I ignored her. And I remember towards the end of the night, at some point, she comes out of nowhere. And I was absorbed in this bliss, like God's love. I was like, I don't need anything outside of myself. I'm good. And she comes out of nowhere and she's like, I can't help it. Like, you've literally been on my mind this whole time. Your energy is like magnetic to me. Like, I can't help it. And we start dancing and we have this beautiful time together. But truthfully, deep down inside, she was a quote unquote club rat, whatever that means.
Mhm.
That night that I met her, she was doing cocaine. She was drinking alcohol. I saw her have interactions with many men in the club. And despite the feeling of peace, love, and truth, I asked myself, could I ever commit to someone like that? And the answer was hell no. um, Now, fortunately, after the awakening, um, the energetic cord actually severed. There was no more of that bliss. There was no more of that deep connection. It just dissipated. But I just thought that was a funny story. Um,
Yeah.
the quest for love when you're in the awakening process. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it ties in perfectly with bliss, love, and peace, and being a club rat, just as we talked about. That's funny. For me, it's a little bit of not internal qualities or feeling qualities, it's more of a physical. This story made me realize I want a quiet girl, a reserved, not social, especially not with men. And I don't want her to have any prior relationship with men. That feels too. It's like it's already been broken. That special bond has already been broken with somebody else. So I want somebody that's totally for me. I'm not willing to risk that anymore.
I can see some beauty in that. What you're saying is a virgin woman, right?
Yes,
Um,
correct.
I also believe for us to arrive where we have arrived, we've had to sin. Meaning, to sin is to miss the mark. That is like the definition of sinning. And to arrive here, you've had to miss the mark. You've had to experience life. Mm, that's brought you the experience and the lessons and the wisdom to have the level of awareness that you do today. So, would it be foolish to just say, oh, yeah, I'm going to get a virgin woman? I think this open for inquiry.
I think it's foolish for you not to want a virgin woman. That's foolish.
Um, Whether she's virgin or not virgin, I don't actually feel a difference, to be honest.
Well,
I think what matters to me more is the present moment quality. The present moment quality. Peace. Do I feel peace in her presence? Do I feel love in her presence? Do I feel truth in her presence? What does her practice look like on a daily basis? What is her commitments on a daily basis? How does she spend her time and energy in present moment? That is the most important thing to me. Um, is it in alignment with my values and where I'm going and what I'm doing? Great, cool. We all have a past, right? I mean, if we talk about my past, God knows how many women I slept with and things that I did, drugs that I took, like disintegrity. I think it would be foolish for me to expect some divine, holy women that just descended from the clouds. I mean, I'm open to it.
hmm, I guess I'm expecting myself to be holy and above the clouds or in the clouds. And I want my woman to be the same. I don't want her to be Yeah, I don't see myself changing from this. There's nothing you can say to change my mind. And maybe I'll die like this, meaning I'll reach 60 years old and I'll be still looking for, hey, where's my girl that's untouched? But I don't think I can change this. Maybe it's like a foolish desire. Maybe I'll change my mind, but I don't really see how. It's like you don't want to be with your woman and you're building your life and you're thinking about children and then you're just thinking about, oh, she's opened herself up to somebody else before. That's a, I mean, yeah, as a man, you're
You know
also,
what, man? I think it's a very respectable trait that you're looking for, honestly. Very respectable. Um,
respect.
I don't know if I told you. I did tell you about this. The last woman that I was dating, who recently told me a couple days ago that she had a threesome with two other men, and the amount of rage that I felt hearing that story. Um, yeah, it's like women that have integrity. What is a woman that has integrity? A woman that has integrity respects her physical vessel, respects her body. A woman that has integrity doesn't just sleep around and share her energies in such a way. A woman of integrity has, yeah. Could you say that a virgin woman is a woman that holds the highest level of integrity on that specific level? Maybe you could say so. Maybe I can agree to that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure you can say this. She does hold the best or the highest level of integrity as it comes to this. Either it's consciously chosen, like, no, no, I'm going to resist this temptation until marriage. Oh, wow, that's a certain aura. Or it's unchosen, meaning she's kind of, a young adult, an adult, 18, 19, 20, whatever it is. It just hasn't happened, and you're the first person in her life. That's whichever way. I want both. Because I can't see myself building with somebody with something and then thinking, oh, just like a couple of years ago or a couple of months ago, she was spreading her legs and some guy was, being aggressive with her. That won't sit well with me. No, can't do that.
There's
So
two sides. There's two sides. There's definitely a big shadow there, for sure. Maybe around inferiority, unworthiness, whatever it may be. I don't want to put any projections onto it. And there is obviously a clear boundary around what is true for you, which is very respectable. So let's set that as an intention, man. Call that into your field. Pristine virgin women.
yeah, so how do you get this? How does one get this?
You're asking me how do you get a virgin woman?
Yes, but not only that, how do you get a girl in the first place or a woman in the first place? That's an alignment with you and spiritually does all these things. It's
Good
like,
question. I think number one is focusing on yourself, becoming the highest quality man that you can become, a man of integrity, a man of strong values, and that makes you unique in the dating pool. That's number one. Number two is putting yourself in spaces where you will potentially meet this woman. For me or for you that spend all our time indoors, I don't know how practical that is, but that could be a lie because we spend a lot of time on social media. A lot of people see us, hundreds of, if not thousands of people see us every single day. Um, so it is completely possible to find someone online. But I think the most important thing is just focusing on becoming uh, the man that you are becoming.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you're a virgin girl out there, reach out to me. We'll talk. And yeah, think over these next few years. I'm bound to get this. I want this for my life. I want to be influential and powerful and have this part of my life settled. I think that's it.
Yeah, quick 5:40 a.m. podcast. Nice.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. for me. So have a good night, Leo.
Good night.
Peace.